What is up, everybody? I am SidsLight, and today I am talking about Jaws on Tales from the Trash Can, where I review horror movies I've watched recently or rewatched recently. In the case of Jaws 2, I'm sure I had seen it, but I don't remember it really. I probably saw it when I was really little. I will honestly say, while the shark looks worse in this movie, and it's undeniably not as good as Jaws. I mean, it was Steven Spielberg. It wasn't that bad. Honestly, it was an enjoyable movie. I would say at some point it had more suspense than the original, and even with the atrocious looking shark prop they used at times, because honestly, it has not aged well. At one part, it's even like flapping like a Muppet against the boat. I don't know. It's not great. But even with that, the way they use the camera and build suspense in some of the scenes, as well as the over-the-top abject terror that's portrayed by some of the mostly the actresses, but some of the actors as well, it really makes some of the scenes super suspenseful and intense, which the first one had, but I feel like this one has a little more of. The first one, infinitely a better movie overall, but overall, this one itself, I wasn't disappointed with. So, it did only feature one returning cast member, I believe. Well, it might have been his whole family, but the Brody, the police chief, he returned again. That's pretty much it, though. Given that Quint got eaten, that makes sense he's not back. I don't know where Hooper is, but he couldn't do the movie for the same reason that Steven Spielberg couldn't. They were working on Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which is a horror movie I have not reviewed yet, but maybe I will. I've seen it a few times. Anyways, on to the story. We're going to talk about spoilers here, so putting the thing up, I'll put the timestamps down below, and you guys can skip past the spoilers if you don't want to hear them, and just see my overall rating for the movie and final thoughts. Anyways, the movie starts off with, a shark attack, as would be expected. Brody has no proof that a shark has done anything, but he is strongly suspicious that a shark is doing things, and wants to shut down the beach. At this point, the movie follows similar parallels as the first one. He returned. The mayor for the city, he's back. And he similarly does not want to shut down the beach. No one wants to shut down the beach. Brody's being crazy. He's just crazy. That's where they're at, basically, on it. And it builds basically the same way, except it's not someone that gets killed on the beach this time because he causes panic and gets everyone out of the water. But they do, there's a boating accident where the shark eats someone who's sailing, which is neat. And then it eats the boat. Or it eats onto the boat, and then there's an explosion. And it has the burn marks the whole rest of the movie, which is kind of cool, I guess. At that point, there's a lot of, hey, kids, stay out of the water, to his own kids, and his own kids ignoring him, sneaking out. And that leads us to where their little boat party with all their friends gets attacked. And the boats are all getting flipped and everything. They're little sailboats and kayaks and such. They're all getting flipped and everything. They end up tying them all together, and more or less they're just sitting there surviving on their little flotilla like they're coming to a new continent, while the shark is perusing around for a meal. There is a super, super intense scene during all this where they're pulling Brody's oldest son onto the boat. Really well done. The camera's from the perspective of the fin while it's coming in. It was super cool. I liked that scene a lot. The other great scene is also here on the flotilla, and that's when a helicopter comes, lands on the water with those little, pontoon legs, and it's like, hey, I'm gonna tow you guys back to shore, alright? This is gonna be great. And I'm like, nah, this is gonna go bad. This is a shark movie. This can't go well for you. Shark movies notoriously never go well for people. So, he hooks them up, he starts lifting off to start towing them, and Jaws bursts out of the water and grabs the side of his helicopter, one of the little pontoons thing, and starts wrecking it. Fantastic. It ends up sinking it, which, since it was tied off to them, it should have dragged them down, but Maybe they cut the rope and I didn't notice. But anyways, I'll move past it. There's a lot of suspension of disbelief in horror movies after all. Like that movie Tired. But yeah, at this point, Brody finally finds them, and it leads to a battle between Brody and the shark again, where I thought Brody was going to get it. But he ends up pulling it off again. And I'll let you see how he does it. It's very telegraphed, really, how he's going to do it once he starts. It's super obvious. Though I thought he was going to die when he was doing it. But he didn't. It would have been a better ending, I think. That said, for a movie with, like, multiple directors, it wasn't bad. So, spoiler time over. Overall, I'm going to give this movie... I'm going to give it 3.5 skulls. It's not as good as Jaws. It's not particularly super scary, but it does good suspense. The effects aren't great, but overall, it's a very good movie. It's an enjoyable movie. Is it a good horror movie? No. It's not scary. Not really. But it is a good suspenseful, action-y movie to watch. It's a good movie. It's enjoyable. It's much better than Ebert said. So, with that in mind, let me know in the comments what you guys thought of Jaws 2. What's your favorite Jaws movie? And if there's a movie you'd like for me to review. I will see you all next time. Peace out, everybody.